Hi, it's Yvonne and Gabby again, and we are here at the Wooton Park in Tavares,
Yep.
which is a suburb now of Orlando. It's about 20 miles to the villages from here, too. It has become a real commuter town for all of Metro Orlando. All of Lake County. We're in Lake County, so as before, we like to cover our service areas primarily Marion, Lake, and Sumter County. So we thought we'd come down here to Lake. We've been to other areas recently, and so we wanted to get down here because they are doing such a rejuvenation of the downtown area in Tavares, and it has some rich history for Florida. It sits on the Harris Chain of Lakes, which are probably some of the best fishing lakes, some of the most beautiful lakes in the state. The Harris Chain is really iconic because it actually is fed by the Ocklawaha River, which is part of the Silver Springs water river up in Ocala. And it actually originates from the St. John's. It actually goes to the St. John's because the Ocklawaha flows north. So if you look on a map, it's pretty intricate. I mean, you technically could take a boat all the way to the St. John's River at through Rodman Reservoir at Lake George, which is considerably north. So we thought this would be a great location. Wooton Park. Wooton is a old Florida pioneer name. They even pioneered down in Southwest Florida. On the edge of the Everglades City. They're known down there for their airboats. So that name really it means a lot to me just because it has such a historical thing here in the state. So and there's a great history in this little town of Tavares.
It was kind of interesting because you were talking about airboats and how they did all that, which is kind of interesting because here in Tavares it is the Seaplane Basin for Florida because I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but there isn't a place to stop if you're driving a sea boat from Key West to Atlanta. So you pretty much, like, this is the only place to stop and fill up. If not, you're going to be running out of gas. There's nowhere to go. So the city.
These are huge lakes. That's why massive. They can take the seaplanes, no problem. I'm hoping that one will fly. This is actually Lake Dora.
Yep.
Behind us. And I'm hoping that we just seen one take off. Of course, we missed it, but hopefully they'll have one land before we leave today.
Yep, hopefully. It's really fun to watch. They've really built this up. I guess back in 2006, they decided that they really wanted to make this more of a place for people to come to. And they've also put some resorts that are new too, I think. They're putting a lot of Airbnbs. So they're really renovating this area to bring in tourists. And I think it has a lot to do with the seaplanes because there's just not really anywhere else that I can think of that has the like they have a lot of seaplanes here that come and land.
They also have a lot of hangars for them too. Like they have a whole depot over here for the actual seaplanes.
Yes, and I guess historically in 1914 they had the first seaplane flyer from what the records could tell, and he flew here. So that was kind of interesting to learn about too and read. It's just something different. Florida has a lot of interesting history, and I think Central Florida especially because I think a lot of people came here. It's not quite as swampy down south, so they were kind of able to build
a lot more farming here. You know, oranges. Lake County was known for its oranges. Even when I was a young child, I mean, there was orange groves for as far as the eye could see here in Lake County, and that I think really made it a popular place. There was some has a lot of railroad history here.
They had a railroad. They had two of them, actually. So one, you may have even seen the actual train. It was the Orange Blossom, what did they call it? The Cannonball?
Cannonball.
Yeah, Orange Blossom Cannonball. And it can be seen in several movies. I know one that was on there was Grit. So it was that Western movie that they had. So it was in, whatever train was in that movie was this one. So they, from my understanding, is they would take that train and they would take it to Hollywood and things like that to film certain things. And then they would have a different train to be put in place. And that was, what was it called?
The Royal Palm.
The Royal Palm Railway. And that they both of them had dinner shows. So
up until recently, I mean, when Gabby was a young child, we were living over in the DeLand area, and it was when the Polar Express came out. And they were still running those dinner shows on the Orange Blossom, and out of Mount Dora, they would go from Mount Dora to Eustis, over here to Tavares. And they were doing this Polar Express at Christmas time, and I always wanted to get over here, but it was so popular, and getting tickets, it was just not that easy, and I never did do it. And now that railway is completely closed. The tracks just needed way too much repair, and the company that was running that decided it wasn't worth the investment. So I feel sorry that I didn't get her.
I know.
She didn't get to ride the Polar Express in Florida. So.
They do it now, though. Every once in a while, they do the track from Eustis. So you come here from Tavares and you take the train to Eustis. So they do that off and on. It said, I'm not
very minimal.
Very minimal though, and I'm sure that probably track wasn't as popular as the track from here to Mount Dora, because maybe we'll have to.
Because it went along the one from here to Mount Dora went along the Lake Dora, and it actually runs up on a ridge. You know, there's a lot of hills here in this part of the state, which is, I know if you're from up north, our hills are like sand mounds, but to us they're hills.
They are.
So that made a scenic ride from Mount Dora to Tavares.
And Mount Dora is very popular too. I think some of the popularity of Mount Dora is now coming to Tavares. I think the growth from Mount Dora is coming to Tavares
Definitely.
too. That kind of, it's just growing here a lot, especially because Orlando, we've talked about it before, Orlando is so expensive. And so people are
it's become a sprawl, like a metropolitan sprawl now. It's lost a lot of its charm.
It has. I do think, I will say here in Tavares, I like that they've been kind of keeping it old looking. Most of the buildings I think Ocala Square has done it as well.
Yes.
Like when they renovate,
they're trying to preserve the historical look.
And I think they're doing that here. Mount Dora, I think they pretty much just demolished everything and redid it. Most of that stuff there isn't very old looking.
There is still some old stuff in Mount Dora, but it has the facelift. It was done a long time ago. I think recent years they've kind of, given a lot more value to the historical look. And I think engineering-wise, architecturally, they've been able to do a really good job of making it new, but looking old.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's what's going on here in Tavares right now. The little Main Street area, they have preserved. I know you can see the old wrought iron lamppost behind us.
Yes.
There's wrought iron. Sure, it's not wrought iron. It's probably aluminum, but it looks wrought iron.
Old.
Fencing.
Yeah.
In front of all the little buildings and stuff here along the railroad.
Yeah, no, they definitely. And the thing with Tavares is apparently the courthouse. I don't know if all of it is original, but it was built in 1922, and it's one of the oldest courthouses. It's like a national landmark that they have here. So that just kind of ties into the fact that they really do appreciate and preserve, older buildings, which I
even
like
the church.
seeing.
One of the older churches,
Yes.
I can tell they have renovated that and restored it.
It's the original one. It was here,
and they just got done playing. We were at the top of the hour a little bit ago, and they were playing the bells, which is really nice.
And it was really cool. That actually is original. The original person that founded Tavares, he was in, I think it was 1880 is when Tavares technically was founded. And he came in here and he saw it as a really great place for the railroad. That's why there's so many trains and things like that. And his money, because I think it's kind of got shut down shortly after because there was a big freeze from I think it was like late 1800s. So it really demolished a lot of what he was doing here with the railway, And he also
the commerce in those years was it was our agricultural. So
yes.
And the oranges were big. Oranges back in those days. They're commonplace today, but back then they were not. It was really a specialty food because you could only raise oranges in certain locations.
It was kind of seen as exotic. I think that's kind of just ties into Florida's history of being this kind of exotic, unusual place.
Subtropical. You could grow a lot of things here, and
that's still the case. They are growing all kinds. I think it's actually becoming a thing for Florida again. I think agriculture is coming back to a degree. There's several people, if you check on TikTok and stuff, they have these big orchards of like subtropical native Florida fruits that I've never heard of, and like they're bringing in a lot of plants from like Asia and things like that to grow here. So I just think that's kind of interesting that we're kind of going back to that old school, or agricultural caring about that.
The first time I had ever been to Tavares, my mother decided at one point when I was I would guess high school age that we should move from Naples to Tavares. So we came to Tavares. It does not look like that anymore. There really wasn't much downtown here. Everything was pretty much in Leesburg at that time, shopping and all that. But now, I mean, they've built the new Waterman.
Yep.
Advent Health has a huge
It's
cardiac. It's one of the biggest cardiac centers here in Central Florida, here at Tavares.
Yep.
So it has really grown here a lot.
It has. I think,
and for the good, because it was just kind of a lost little city.
It was. It really
along
was.
the lakes, and these Harris chains are people are really starting to get a lot of respect for them. They did let the like Lake Apopka is really part of the Harris chain, way down south in Orange County. And at one point in time, back in the 70s and 80s, that lake was actually almost dead, just from poor environmental.
All the farms, I'm
yeah,
sure.
just not taking care of the environment. So we have come a long way, and I think I applaud them. They've done a good job at restoring it. Yet we still can use it. It's not like they don't have boating. There's plenty of boating. We boat here all the time. We like to do that. There's the Dora Canal that connects Lake Eustis.
Yes.
To Dora.
Yep.
And then you've got the Dead River that connects Lake Eustis to Lake Harris. And so it's very navigable and very, very popular. In the weekends, this is a big boating area. There's actually right here on Lake Dora, they actually have a sandbar where they, tie up and people come, bring their kids and enjoy the water.
Yeah, no, it's really popular, and I think it's kind of growing with like restaurants too, because my wife and I came down here not that long ago, and I was just wanting to go on a new adventure, and they've got a couple new bars and restaurants. So the one we went to was the Aquanaut, which was, if you like beer and wine, then it's a great place for you, but it's also just kind of cool to go there. So maybe start off with that. It's submarine themed. So you actually walk in and it's all dark, and it has like a speakeasy 1920s feel. And the guy that started it was actually a chemist, and so you get served like in these like chemistry glasses and things like that. So it's very unique, very different. I don't think this area has anything like that unless you go to Orlando, because even Ocala, they have some speakeasies, but it's definitely not as theatrical or as themed or as really planned out as much as this. This is something I feel like you would see more so in Orlando, not so much here in Tavares of all places. Even Mount Dora, I don't think has anything like so
they
nice.
do have some.
Do they have that's themed
some,
like that?
Yeah, I think that's probably a carryover from Mount Dora.
Maybe.
Everybody comes, and Disney. We're not far from Disney here. The Turnpike is just right here. You can be down to the gates of the Magic Kingdom probably in less than an hour if traffic behaves. And so, this is a really popular place, and it's becoming more and more popular. Yeah. But it seems like that Lake County is also doing a great job, like Marion, of really trying to control the sprawl.
Yes.
Which is good. Their planning is working out really good. They've got some beautiful new subdivisions, right? Gabby's been to a lot of them.
I think they've got, let me see.
What was that one that you liked really
Richmond.
well?
Richmond Homes has some here. They have 2 coming. Last time I was there, it was nothing but just dirt, and they were selling out of a RV. So that, I don't know what that looks like now. That I don't know how much ground they've made on that, just because it was like a lot that still had to be done. They didn't even have the roads in, nothing. It was just empty, clear, brand new. And then they have another one coming as well, and that one's right over by what's the name? Advent Health.
Oh, by Waterman.
By Waterman. So they have that. It's like literally across the street. I think Waterman is really feeding
a lot of people, even in the villages. You see it very often, because the villages is not very far from here.
No.
They are promoting Waterman a lot. Like I see people talking about going to Waterman. Like that's the hospital of choice in this area right now. I think as time goes on, that's probably going to change, but it's just still a very, very popular healthcare facility that people tend to like.
I think we got a Seaplane
coming. They have a lot
of
services there that you would have to go to Orlando to probably get. So that's really good for people. And this is really a lot of families coming here more. But there still are a lot of retirees that have moved to Lake County. It's still very popular. Part of the villages encompasses Lake County.
It does.
This area is really servicing both demographics. I
believe. It is. It really is. Because there's older people that come here too, but I think also a lot of young people
and families
and things like that. I think a lot of just young professionals as well. It has to do with the hospital.
Yep.
And things like
True.
that. And they also like have a lot of new ingenuitive companies here, because like I had a customer that she's like working from some type of cannabis plant, and they are putting that a whole cannabis thing in Orlando, Ocala too, as a mecca like center. So I think it is just kind of tying into up and coming this is a brand new company.
Oh wow.
So it's going to be a transfer station for all of that kind of stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So it just kind of shows you that it's up and coming area, so it's changing.
Right. And,
I know.
And it is people come and they have like antique shops here. I mean, there's all of that, like shopping, that type of, unique type of experiences. So people really like it. And then here in Eustis, Tavares and Eustis kind of touch.
They do.
Up on 441 on the main road, and they have everything that you could possibly want.
Yes.
Like,
and Mount Dora too.
Right, from Home Depot to Walmart's to Target's to all the normal
and
things
Leesburg as well
that people find that they need. The big box stores.
Oh
so
yeah.
there's plenty of that here as well. So it kind of is a unique place. And
it is.
Behind us, you'll see these little this concrete. And it is where they have the farmers market on the weekends. So they have it all made out so the people can, sell their produce and whatever
and like
goods that they might have. So it is this is a really nice park. It's really clean and well kept. And there's a lot of historical places you can look at. There's actually a historical museum right over here. And so a lot of places to park your boat.
Yes.
People can pull the boat up and then go and eat at whatever the restaurants are right here local. Behind us, you'll see the big building that sits out by the water.
Yes.
That's a wedding venue.
It's a wedding venue or just a venue.
It's plate glass on the front.
It's very beautiful.
You can't see it here, but on the
other side
on the veranda out front, it's all glass.
Yep.
And so it is really a very beautiful venue for any kind of ceremony that you would want, a special occasion type thing.
Yep. So.
All right. Well, I think the seaplane is getting ready to take off. We're going to try to see if we can catch it.
I hear so.
I heard
it start up earlier.
Start up. So we'll get a picture of that.
Yeah, and I'll have some videos of the couple different restaurants that I've been to here as well at the end, just to kind of give you a little tour of what this area looks like. And if you have any questions about it or would like to talk to us about it,
if you're thinking that you might want to relocate to Lake County, we'd be glad to help you. There's some really great neighborhoods here. There's beautiful homes on this lakes. If you want waterfront homes, Tavares has got plenty of those. Mount Dora, absolutely fantastic. Eustis, they all have some really great waterfront properties.
They do. It's a really nice place, and it's very much so up and coming. And I think it's just going to grow over time.
It is, and hopefully they'll continue on the line they're doing, because it really is
It is really nice.
They're doing a really nice job with it.
Yep, I think so.
All right. Well, until next week, we will
see you then.
I've got a new person we're going to be doing a little talk with. She's a special lady, and that I think will be coming soon.
Yep.
And
then I have somebody else coming up too.
Yeah,
so
we have some really interesting people. A lot
of
really interesting people have moved to this area, retired professionals, and they just have a great story. So we're hoping to share more of that with you as time goes on. So, just like our page, like our YouTube, share it.
Yep.
Give us some feedback. We would love that.
Yes, of course.
Because we hope we're doing a great job, but I know we can always do better.
Of course.
All right. Till next time.
Yep, thank you.
We'll see you.
All right.
Bye-bye.